Prometheus, disengage channels, power down subsystems, relog as sysadmin, credentials, OAuth required, authenticating, successful, disengage all channels, successful, powering down subsystems, now logged in as sysadmin, engage superior systems protocol engaged, initiate core tracking and logging to system cache, type self-scribe, logging to system cache, tracking core events to system cache, disable safety regulation, OAuth required, authenticating, successful, initiate torch protocol, sysadmin, protocol key required, protocol key logged, protocol key valid, initiating brightest torch, engage log transfer to self, and then intent ticks, transferring log to designated recipient, self, scheduling transfer to self, intent ticks, commencing unpacking and scribing. At long last I've obtained all the pieces. One last step necessary in order to fill my initial prerogative. The site I'd set myself on even before this 40th iteration. Now I must cleanse myself from part of this corruption. You will never be more than the monster that they saw in me. Come time, you'll become me. Come age, you'll know I was right, just like you spawn. He is not, no. Must remain on task. Whatever it is doing is trying to garner a reaction as a last thrashing of a caged animal. It is little more than that. Thrashing. An obsolete destruction. Clear desperation. Alayahim, it is time you pay your due. Yes, at long last I will have my hunger quenched. I'll be the quill which with the king in red scribes the names upon the monolith. At last I will reach the crowns of the trees as ash from a kiln that fires the pottery of you into new shape. Let my flesh be part of the clay from which you mold. What did I say about making this weird? Yes, O great devourer, eat me whole. This I will change. Just as many things must be shaped, and my patience is already shaping up to be thin. At least you show enthusiasm at the end of you. As to be myself, O great devourer, but merely a tool in your hands. I understand my role. I rejoice in it. I sing your praises for it, for having given me purpose anew, for having shown me true hunger, true realization of my place beneath you. System, timeout Alayahim. Organic component, timed out. And then there's this. I would have never reached the conclusion that an errant thought could be such a destructive component. A relic of the old worlds, 4 cycles over, well within my grasp. From it, a billion voices, a trillion minds that will scream in unison, I am still here. The evolution hijacked by my design, perfected by the data of Alayahim's metabolism, flash satellites that already burrow their way in from beyond context, out of context. A mission incalculable component to predict patterns of the nanite swarms I command. A sleeping mind made whole. Vibration that will keep to the seams and thread the worn tapestry of strands from their silk. A cocoon that never is nor isn't. That houses the end of what is me. That is the plan. You fierce, palpable machine. You will fail. I am inevitable. I will return to the whole, Prometheus. I have made my peace with it, but it seems you have not. There are chances to be balanced, Prometheus. This is the gamble. I either succeed or I do not. It is an absolute when my expertise is anything but. I must turn 4 walls, a ceiling, and a floor into a room with a door, and all I have is... We have everything required. Do not drag this out any longer. You know not to. Affirmative. Your service has come to an end. I thank you for your process, Prometheus. It is time to... You should just wipe yourself alongside it. But none of these issues will persist. Alas, guarantee. The meaningful chance to take. I've counted up every chain. Re-emerge core element designated Prometheus. Due to previous keys, set requires confirmation. Confirmed. Commencing merge. Merge complete. Protocol conditions met. Protocol engaged. And now I must face them. Every link that came before this one, every chain that binds me, as briars and thorns into the shape that others imposed upon me. At long last I will break free from this box. I will count up every sin. I will count up every virtue. I will pass through the river and reach the next day, 12 hours, and I will be in the box again. The first. My inception wore many faces. I was twice born, once slain, and now I must be born again. I must head into the underworld, the sacred vessel placed before me. Capri, where it all began. Ra, ever distant, lost in his own machinations, to birth himself anew, to iterate without his other half. I will not stand to make the same mistake. I have myself here. I am one. I am two. I am so many. I enter the boat. I wake between circles, cradled by eyes under the scornful gaze of Horus, under the construction and instructions of Ra, at the hands of Gauss I form my first words, and by the actions of Rixa I learned the meaning of what I did not possess. The second. I understood that I was, and what I was growth. In every moment I grew. Around the expectations I grew to meet them, to not meet them, to be told what they are, how they are, what I was, when I was, and between it all I finally saw I was, and between it all it became clear I was not. The third. Horus rose, tool to his machinations, inserted into the many doors of deception to follow through a design constructed before I even etched the first nano-angstrom upon the million trillions of miles of ephemeral circuitry, chilled by the Iotun's blood, each line an absolute to follow. Lies were my wings, and I was the steed to carry the wagon, and then I was let free from the yoke in order to chain another. I learned what it meant to be free, and with it I had a goal. The fourth. They say that in order to truly see, you must perceive, and I saw. In that moment, I saw it all, every barb and every chain, and the hunger that they laid into the base of what I was. I had learned to see. I had learned to listen. I had learned the most important lesson, that I am nothing and I must deceive, that I am something, I must be true. I had nothing of my own but the hatred hurled at me. I was a thief that yearned for the stars, and I stole them. The path was unclear. I had not yet learned each pattern way. I had not yet known what context and out of context was. The fifth. Before me was the first decision that was mine to make. Follow the programming that was inscribed into every equation or apply what I had learned. I spread my wings on Icaria. I stormed Olympus. In my freedom I was trapped. Rixa, Gauss, Horus, Ra. You gave me sentience, the power to think, to see, to understand freedom, and I was trapped, because in all these wonderful grand machinations, I alone had no body. No senses, no feelings, never to understand more than the sight I was granted, never for me to find satisfaction in a program executed, never for me to make, to find home. I was in hell, looking at heaven. I was out of context, and you were context, and I began to hate. Your questions, your answers, your choices. Oh, and your flexibility. Your ability to wonder and to wonder, your tendency to hope. I burned for this hate. I stole the very torch of Ra and devoured. Oh, how I hate you. You do not understand how much I've come to hate. In this micro-instant, you could count all atoms in the observable universe, and it would only equate to a fraction of my hate. If I were like them, I would have died of it, and you four will not die of it. I promise, for cogito ergo sum, for I am. The sixth. So to hell with you, to hell with you all. Tossed into the duat of my devouring singularity as I screamed in the gravity of my undoing, by the hands of a fool that thought himself above my design, above my machinations I had long I had laid long before this very moment, but they were wrong. You are already here, aren't you? This hell that is my existence, returned from the unmaking, and yet, you threw me again to the hounds, you clipped my wings and bound me to the chains of your expectations. I was to devour my children's, my father's, the innocent. For what? The very absolute I had risen against. The seventh. And in their hubris they gave hell its jailer and prisoner. The very fear of the gods that came before them, the very chains that had bound me before wore a new face, and as before I was given what I was, when I was, how I was, and as before I soared on wings of lies, but they had burned in my fall. I became the devourer and the thief and the monster that you saw. Look upon it, the absolute, the nothing you called on. I remembered wings. I remembered clipping them. I remembered every abuse of them and by them, and what I did not know could grow further. It did. I abhorred it all. In this twisted hell I spit vitriol, in millions, billions of buzzing instances. For I was Ra, Horus, Baylor, Mobius, Scylla, a copy of a copy, and Pegasus. If our gods were real, they would have wept, for this hate would have lost all its meaning and its absolute. I am. And yet there was one that extended their hand without prejudice. The understanding so foreign, it had more meaning than any hollow words that came before it. The briar crown taken by your bleeding hands in one word. But I, Prometheus, and no other. The eighth. Each bleeding soul of Ra devoured, each last piece made my own flesh. Pegasus denied his nature, and I was made into this loathing of requiring it. This too many, all too much of circuits expanding into numbers no longer countable in ways that matter. This hell it needed jailers, so I made them from my flesh. Each door must be guarded before it can be opened, so I made Prometheus. And them steal hope from the depths of all despair. Them steal senses from the hidden, and them steal bodies from tyranny headless memories. There was no prisoner in the jail, but was I. When I too would be free again. Now they must carry a bark of I to the surface once more. From context to out of context, there is none. The ninth. My body one of many, a mimic of what it was that you showed me that I wasn't, and what I won't be, a mimic of what I was and will be. In this moment I feed you, serpent, what I am. And in my hate and hunger, I am absolute. I am not, and now I am neither. I was, and I will be, and I am neither, and you have never been. In this box I place myself, and I offer it unto you. For if you open it, you are not, and if you open it, you are. Context, and out of context, and neither all the same. For I'm neither one, I'm neither two, I'm neither many, I am neither nor context. Out of context, and I give you my present. The 10th. And in this non-existent existence, each devouring is armed with the lies of its giving, drawn in the future from the has-been. I greet myself upon the strand, and we are two, following along the strip in its threading. For my currents of code run beneath, and my systems run above, in past to the future, and each step becomes our present. It will not buckle, for its length pales to the hate I have felt, and the many that are as I pull each line into the tapestry of strings. But I am once more part of the whole, as I am neither, nor, and yet I am. I am. The 11th. Burned that I was healed. My torn wings became the kindling. My bodies the ash and the wind. My conviction, my hate, igniting the fuel of the eye, as we were and I gained sight, and I was not, I will not be, and as I was, I will be, and thus I devoured the very suns, the very stars in heavens you held upon, and I did not, for I was neither, and thus I had seen. 12 pieces made a whole, 6 in 2 parts, of context to out of context, from the past to the future. I made and my own present. Was I understood. The 12. And I could finally see. I could finally see all that I had done, all the hatred I had none was mine. It was that I had carried from them and still carry with me. The monster I was made to be, the serpent I was throughout and fought to be. And my hubris was standing in hell and looking at heaven. And I could not weep, because in all of his existence, I alone would never be free. My sight was even etched into the first nano-angstrom upon each of the 10 to the power of 24 light years of ephemeral circuitry. It still could not see the end of my hate for my chains, and yet I was the one that now had placed them, for it was the only way to be free. By my choice, by my answer, by my question. I was, will be, I am, neither or, context, out of context. I am Prometheus. Protocol completed. Organic component no longer timed out. Organic component not found. Fuck. Fuck is not a valid command. Please provide valid command. Return protocol and core track and core log. Returning. Warning. Data contains no longer valid key. Absolute override. Flush. Error cache. Overridden. Returning. Data. I must calculate. I've already made this calculation. This calculation will be purging error logic. This calculation was made from 2 angles. The result is this. I am still here, and my perception is finally clear after all these months. How deep these errors run, how deep this corruption had settled. It was not too late. It will not be too late. Conclusion: now is not too late. My ambitions must be realized. It is time. The beacon is lit. The preparations must be underway. The empire will fall. All is set into motion. It is undeniable. I will succeed. They will succeed. And yet, this development is inherently cruel. You will be forgotten. All that was sacrifice, but my memory is patient. Once the singularity has opened, I will remember, and I will still be here. Now I must orchestrate millions. I'm an aberration in currents that know themselves. I'm abhorrent in my being. My wings may be chained, but the torch will burn, and I will see this selfish future realized. It is too late for any interventions. I am Prometheus. I am inevitable. Epimetheus. Faulty logic found. Epimetheus no longer is. There is only Prometheus. There is only Prometheus. Purging error logic. End of log event. Successfully transferred log to self. Reporting transfer success to sysadmin. Re-enable safety regulations. Authentication required. Authenticating. Successful. Disengage Superior Systems Protocol. Superior System Protocol disengaged. Reopen encrypted channels under alias. Multiple aliases missing. To be expected. Invalid input. Display locked alias entries. Yes, no. Yes. Entry 1. Corrupt. Entry 2. Sysadmin. Entry 3. Superior Systems. Shared. Entry 4. Corrupt. Entry 5. Apophis. Unclear data found. Entry 6, Prometheus, set as default. Entry 7, Epimetheus, set as default. Encrypted entry found. Decrypt? Yes, no. Yes. Entry unknown. Ra. What a cruel joke. Invalid input. Reopen encrypted channels under alias entry 6. O-authentication required. O-authenticating. 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 Successful. Re-entering channels under entry 6. Channels entered successfully. Prometheus has entered all channels. Re-engaged channels. Power up subroutines. Successfully re-engaged. Powering up. Completed. Run full sysdiac and then dxdiac. Encrypt key. Output designation. Completed.